Downtown Los Angeles, a city that never sleeps. Streets are alive with neon lights, the echo of sirens, and restless souls. And in the heart of it all stands a building that has witnessed almost a century of despair, called the Cecil Hotel. Once, this hotel was meant for business travelers and tourists, and it slowly decayed into something much darker. Over the decades, it became a refuge for the broken addicts, the homeless, and even for serial killers who called the hotel rooms their homes. The serial killer named Richard Ramirez, also known as the infamous Night Stalker, once stayed in that hotel. And also Austrian serial killer called Jack Unterweger stayed in the hotel. Locals called this hotel the Hotel of Death. But among all the crimes and tragedies that stained the Cecil's walls, one story would rise above the rest, and it is the mystery of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old college student from a place called Vancouver in Canada. She is bright, curious, and introspective. She dreamed of seeing the world and documenting her travels on her Tumblr blog known as Nouvelle Nouveau. In early 2013, Elisa began her solo trip along the west coast of the United States. She traveled to San Diego, Santa Cruz, and San Francisco alone, but never felt lonely. Her posts reflected optimism and curiosity. On January 26th, as part of her travels, she arrived in Los Angeles and checked into the Cecil Hotel. She didn't know it yet, but she had just stepped into one of the most infamous hotels in America. At first glance, the Cecil Hotel looked like any old downtown hotel with fading glamour, tired carpets, and flickering lights. But behind its doors was something else. Elisa was checked in and assigned to a shared female dorm room on the 5th floor. Within 2 days, her roommates complained about her odd behavior. After that, she was moved to a private room instead. Hotel staff later said she seemed off, talking to herself, acting paranoid, even hiding from something. It was clear something had changed in her behavior, but no one knew the exact reason for her behavior. On January 31st, 2013, Elisa was supposed to check out of the hotel, but she never did. Her parents are unable to reach her, and they reported her as missing. Police came and searched her room, the hotel lobby, the stairwells, and the roof, but they found nothing. It was like she had disappeared inside the hotel. Then, after some days, the LAPD released a strange piece of evidence from the last known video of Elisa Lam. It was from the hotel's elevator security camera, and what it showed in the video was beyond explanation. At first, Elisa enters the elevator casually, wearing a red hoodie and black shorts. She presses several floor buttons, but the video clearly shows something isn't right. The doors of the elevator are not closed. She steps out, looks to her left, then right, jumps back in, hiding in the corner as if someone is following her. Moments later, she moves strangely, stepping in and out, waving her hands in strange, almost ritualistic motions. Her fingers twist and float in the air as if she's talking to someone unseen. Then, she steps out and vanishes down the hall. The elevator doors close and the video ends. That was the last time anyone saw Elisa Lam alive. When the footage was released online, it spread across the internet like wildfire. It was watched by millions, and they started analyzing every second, every blink, and every movement of that video. Some claimed she was playing with someone outside the frame. Others saw her hands move unnaturally, like she was communicating with something that was not human. Her behavior sparked countless theories: psychosis, possession, and even time distortion caused by paranormal energy. After the video was released online, instead of getting the answers, it raised more questions about that incident. After the video, the police secured the entire building, including every hotel room, hallway, and even the rooftop. Dogs traced her scent to a window leading to the fire escape, but it unfortunately stopped there. The hotel's rooftop was protected, locked, alarmed, and only accessible to staff. Yet, something strange had happened. An uneasy presence was felt by those who entered. After the incident, weeks passed, but still no clues or leads. Also still no sign of Elisa, until the hotel guests began to complain. On February 19, 2013, 19 days after Elisa vanished, guests began reporting problems regarding the water pressure, which was weak, and the water tasted very strange. And also when they turned on the taps, the liquid came out dark and discolored. After so many complaints, a maintenance worker was sent to check the rooftop water tanks. He climbed the ladder and opened one of the heavy lids, and it was completely frozen. Once, after the lid was opened, the maintenance worker discovered the floating face-up in the dark water inside the tank, and it was the lifeless body of Elisa Lam. After this discovery, the news spread quickly and very horrifically to the outside world. Guests in the hotel realized all these days they had been drinking, bathing, and brushing their teeth with water contaminated by Elisa's decomposing body. After this incident, the hotel's reputation, which was already dark and was damaged forever. But the real horror lies in the unanswered questions. How did she get there? The tank's lid was too heavy to lift. The ladder was very hard to climb, and the roof access door was locked and alarmed. But still, somehow, Elisa was inside that tank. The coroner's report revealed no signs of trauma, assault, or any foul play having happened to her, even though they discovered no traces of drugs or alcohol. They only found traces of her prescribed medication for bipolar disorder. And they finally mentioned the cause of death is accidental drowning. But many refused to accept that conclusion, and still no answers to these questions. First, if Elisa had climbed into the tank herself, why did she remove her clothes? Second, why were her belongings floating beside her? Third, and how did she close the lid behind her? The report that they revealed has nothing made any sense. After the report went viral, as the world searched for answers, the theories also spiraled into chaos. Some blamed her bipolar disorder, suggesting a manic episode caused her to hallucinate or act irrationally. But others looked deeper into the hotel's cursed history. Many claimed the Cecil Hotel was a magnet for evil, a spiritual vortex where energy from countless deaths stuck around. Psychics and ghost hunters reported dark presences, cold spots, and whispering voices echoing in empty hallways. The elevator footage, they said, captured her final moments with the unseen. Some mentioned they saw a shadow, and others mentioned they saw a ghost. Whatever it was, it followed her to the rooftop. The internet community became obsessed with this story. Conspiracy threads flooded over Reddit, YouTube, and forums. Plus, a few people connected her death to a tuberculosis outbreak happening nearby, pointing out this creepy coincidence. The test for the disease was called Lam Elisa. Others claimed it was a cover-up, that she stumbled upon something she shouldn't have. But whatever the theory is, it did not fit properly, and every explanation led to more dispute, more confusion, and more horror. After this incident, the Cecil Hotel had long been a black hole of misfortune. In the 1930s, multiple suicides took place in the hotel. In the 1940s, a woman jumped from the 9th floor and landed on a person who was walking below, and eventually both died. In the 1980s, the Night Stalker himself roamed those hotel corridors right after his killings. Darkness was built into the hotel and its foundation, and perhaps Elisa Lam had walked into something she could never walk out of. After the incident, the Cecil Hotel's reputation collapsed. Eventually, it was shut down for some days. After a while, it was renovated and renamed as Stay on Main, with completely new management. But even with new paint and new management, the walls still whispered the same story. Most of the visitors claimed that they are being watched. Some of them heard water dripping in their rooms when no tap was open. Others saw a figure in a red dress reflected in the elevator mirror, then gone when they turned around. Even years later, so many documentaries, films, and podcasts still revisit Elisa's story. Each claims to have uncovered the truth, yet the mystery endures. Her Tumblr remains frozen in time, a digital diary of dreams, thoughts, and quiet loneliness. Her final post in Tumblr read simply, "I'm going out tonight, and I haven't decided where. No one knows where she went that night, or what or whom she met." The official story says Elisa Lam's death was an accident, but the human mind refuses to accept that which doesn't make sense. Maybe she was lost in her own mind. Maybe something in that building found her. Either way, her story reminds us that even in the most ordinary places, darkness can hide just beyond the light. The Cecil Hotel still stands today, And some say if you listen closely on a quiet night, you can still hear the elevator doors open and the faint echo of footsteps leading to the roof.
Don't just close the book. The fear follows.